Everyone. Oh, it didn't even say it out loud. Okay. And everybody on Zoom, I'm just recording myself. All right. We'll start with our eyes closed or just softening our gaze and taking a few deep breaths and tuning into where we are in our human experience in our day. So give a little moment to think about how your morning went, thoughts, feelings that were present. Notice where those thoughts live in your body. So, if you had a stressful morning, where does that live? If you had a really good, easygoing morning, just take note of how your body feels. Begin to deepen your inhales and slow down your exhales. Just get curious about what that means for you. So, deepening your inhale, see if we can pull it into our body. Does your belly expand, rib cage expand, chest open up? And when you're exhaling, do you empty all of the way out? And what does that feel like? This is the breath that will carry with us through class. Those deep inhales and those slow exhales. Today, we'll talk about rushing and this idea of slowing down, what we believe that means. If we have access to that, or we give ourselves permission to move slow, or are we always in a rush? Taking this class as information, just noticing your patterns, and just like we do in our yoga postures, we offer ourselves this idea of non-judgment. Just witnessing, knowing that everything is always changing depending on our day and how we're feeling. Give yourself grace today as we move through this next hour of self-care. When we slow down, we create the space to feel, to notice where we hold resistance, and to meet ourselves with a deeper awareness. Slower movements ask us to be more present, more intentional, more attuned to what is happening within us, which, just as challenging postures create this sense of tightness, of stretching, it's tough. When we slow down, we also meet the mind in the same way. It's wanting to get through it, this feeling stuck, this not wanting to be here anymore. And we meet ourselves with just as much kindness as we do around the shapes. Take a deep breath. Let something go. Just take a few more of those. Take a deep breath and just let it go. Take a deep breath. Let something go. As we continue to breathe in this way, we'll set an intention for our practice. How do we meet ourselves in moments of slowness? What can you offer yourself to provide the safe space for you to slow down? Is it grace, kindness, more love, empathy, courage? What do you need to slow down and experience how your body feels and what's going on in your mind? Take a deep breath. Let it go. Let's blink our eyes open. We'll start with just a simple forward fold. So walk your hands forwards. Notice which foot is in front. Notice if this is your dominant or non-dominant leg. Take a deep breath. See if you can let your head drop a little bit heavier. Notice the hips. Breathe into the backside body. Let something go. Begin to walk the hands back towards the body slower than what you normally would. Even if that's just a half count shorter, just a little slower. Okay, take the hands behind the back, fingertips face the hips, reverse table. Be gentle. You don't have to go to some fullest expression. Invite a rock back and forth. Notice what parts of the body are beginning to fire to help you feel stronger. What areas of the body may be speaking to you in the language of sensation, maybe tightness, stiffness. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Take the hips down, cross the other foot in front, and walk the hands as far forwards as they'll go. Invite a gentle rock of your head side to side. Maybe you walk your hands over to the left and the right. You can move back and forth between those two, or you can stay, pause, and breathe. Whatever feels good to you. Take a couple deep breaths and just notice how you're feeling. The body speaks to us in sensation. Pinching, firing, radiating feelings are a sensation we back away from. Warm, lengthening, space creating feelings are something we move into. They can be loud, but just discern the difference. Take the other side if you haven't already. And then begin to make your way back to center and roll yourself back up. We'll extend both legs long. Take your hands forwards, bring them underneath your calves, and begin to pull yourself in for this pike stretch. Take notes of where you are in this stretch, how it feels, how much space you feel like you have. And then release the hands. Pull that right foot in so it meets your inner thigh on the left side. And we're going to cross over. So take the right hand to the left shin, and you're going to walk that left hand backwards. So you're moving into this twist, taking your gaze to the left, trying to take that right ear down to the left leg. And then notice your breath. Has it shallowed when you get into this twist? Can you expand it? And what does expanding it feel like? Do you feel the stretch, the space being created? Exhales are for softening, letting go. And then we'll release out of that. Take the right hand towards the right off the mat. Your left arm will reach down on the inside of your left leg so you can press the two against each other as you peel your chest to the right. And then take that right arm up overhead, reaching towards the left toes. Yeah, really good. So when we get into a shape like this, you can move. So you can make some little adjustments. Be mindful of if it feels better to bend your arm, straighten your arm, reach it way overhead, maybe tuck it behind your back. Notice how your body wants to move and what feels good to you and show up for that. Just move slowly. Keep breathing. Okay. We'll begin to come out of this slowly. Let the spine calibrate, stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Turn back towards the front and just switch out. So pull the left foot in. Find your sit bones. Feather your nest. I've been saying that lately, and that feels really fun to me. Feather your nest. Okay. And then once you're comfy, cross left hand over the right shin. Right hand moves backwards in space and then pull yourself into the twist. Inhales, opportunity to find those grounding touch points, those anchors, expand in all directions. Grow through the heel, grow through the top of the head, create space. Exhale, pull yourself in deeper. Be mindful that you are not yanking yourself into the shape. You're just providing a gentle push, a gentle pull to guide yourself a bit deeper. All right, we'll work our way out of that. Begin to come back towards center. Take the right hand on the inside of the leg. Find that anchor point. So if you're a little too high, you can maybe place a block and then get your elbow on the inside, allowing that foot to anchor it. Just a way to call on the support of tools. And then as you press backwards very gently, turn your chest towards the left. Find your touch points against the floor and then allow the left arm to come up and over. Take a few deep breaths first to kind of settle into how you just initially arrived. Now, after you've kind of taken stock, okay, how did I get here? Start making some of those adjustments that feel better to you. Hand behind the head, hand behind the back. What areas are you pushing or activating? Maybe you can let something go. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, we'll pull all the way back to center. Take your blocks. I would shift them up to the front of your mat in case you want to use them. Cross at the ankles and come to a tabletop position. Let's open through the shoulders. So walk those hands forwards 1 or 2 steps. Rotate your sit bones towards the back of the room and let your heart melt down towards the mat. So belly can come pretty close to thighs. The spine should feel lengthened out. So when you arrive, maybe lengthening means your hands slide forwards a little bit more. Maybe your tailbone lifts up towards the ceiling. When you exhale, get curious about pressing into your hands and pulling your belly button to your spine. Inhale, let your belly be soft. Rotate those sit bones. Heart melts towards the mat. Exhale, gentle press into the hands, belly button to spine. Round the upper back a little bit. Slow, very slow, simple movements. Inhale, relax everything down. Exhale, press, vacuum the belly, round the back. Inhale, belly soft, rotate the sit bones, melt. Take this a few more rounds. Explore, see what feels good. Beginning to feel what it feels like to contract the core, engage those muscles. And then let's walk the hands slowly back underneath the shoulders. We'll meet in tabletop. Inhale, lowers the belly, opens the chest, lifts the gaze, cow. Exhales, belly button to spine, round the upper back, chin to chest. Inhale, open it back up, soft front line. Exhale, contract the front, open back line. Let's take a few more. Let's keep it simple. Here to start, inhale, soften the front, contract the back. Exhale, contract the front, open the back. Few more, simple like that. Inhale, open, cow. Exhale, cat, contract the front, open the back, pause. Feather your nest a little bit. Get in between the shoulder blades. See how that feels. What's going on with the neck? Inhale, soften the front. And then let's get into that intuitive flow. So you can connect the cat-cow by shifting forwards and backwards. You can take the head, the hips, the rib cage in a circle, both directions. You can take a combination of any of that. So we're releasing the structure of the poses and we're getting in tune with our intuition, with our body a little bit more, just allowing some energy to move, waking ourselves up. And then get curious about the speed at which you're exploring. Can you slow it down a little? And then notice how slowing down allows you to receive more input. You're noticing more things. Maybe you're finding more pauses. Breath is deeper. System is calmer. Let's take 2 more breaths. And we'll arrive back in that tabletop. And just tuck the toes. Track those feet backwards. Feel the stretch in your feet. The feet connect to everything else in the body. Everything is connected. So notice if your feet are tight, give them a moment to stretch. All right, we'll move into downward dog. So press down into the hands, lift the hips, rotate the sit bones backwards, almost like you're sticking your butt out, and then drop the heels. Melt the heart towards the legs. Maybe you walk out your dog, bend one knee and then the other. Notice your breath. Walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. If that's not accessible to you, grab for the backs of your calves. When we inhale, we're going to stick our butt backwards and try to lengthen through our neck, through the top of our head. Maybe knees are bent. Really pull up on your toes. Push down into your fingers. We're breathing. And then on your next exhale, whenever it is, drop the head, pull up on the toes or forwards on the calves. Let your head hang down towards the floor. Release the fingers. Take the hands down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten the legs, making a 7 with the body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Wave your arms up overhead. And then bend your elbows, open your heart. Pause here. Notice how much space is in the neck. Grow tall through the top of the head. Maybe pull the chin in. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. Notice what areas in the body are gripping unnecessarily. Notice the strength building just here, just holding, breathing. Pull the tummy in. Inhale, lift the hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold once more. Step the right foot about 6 inches in front of the left. Now, notice if it would be helpful to have your blocks. Grab those close to you. Maybe you like to bring the floor up to you. Inhales, we're sticking our butt backwards like we've been doing. Exhale, we're folding over that front right leg. Inhale, find that halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Do this a couple times. Last one. When you fold over that front leg, notice your hands. Place some pressure into them. And we're just going to slowly lift the left leg behind us like warrior 3 prep. Finding a little balance. Maybe you stay here and you just play around with seeing how this feels, maybe dropping the left hip down a little bit, finding length from right heel to right hip, left hip to left heel. You can also fold it in, find your half splits, up to you. Take a couple of breaths, getting familiar with how this feels. Walk your blocks forwards. Step your left foot 6 inches in front of your right. Begin that same pattern. Inhale, find length, make that figure 7, straighten the spine. Exhale, fold back over that left leg. Inhales, lengthen, left heel, left hip, right hip, through the top of the head. Exhales, fold a little bit deeper. Let's take a few more. Finding length, countering any sitting we do, any traveling, any low back pain, creating some length so we can move freer in our bodies. And let's find our hands. Place some pressure. Slowly lift that right leg. Notice any rounding in the upper back. So we want to pull those shoulder blades together like we did while we were standing. Pull the heart through a little bit more. Maybe you stay here with this warrior 3. Flex the right foot. See what it feels like to push that right heel towards the back wall. So we're activating that right leg a little bit more, finding length through it, a little bit longer. Let's step right to meet left. We're in this forward fold position at the top of the mat. Inhale, let's roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. Take your hands out, palms facing forwards. Find something to focus on. So at the front of the room, it can be a dot, maybe on your mat, the mat in front of you. Find something to focus on. And then shift the weight into the left foot, lift the right leg high. Keeping the arms out, we're going to shift that foot backwards into this back scale-like position. We're just playing around with balance. You don't have to arrive anywhere. Be with where you are. Let's come back. Lift the right knee in front of us. Exhale it down. Lift the hands high. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Notice what's happening with the core. Can we pull it in? Zip it up. Breathe through an activated core. Release the glutes. Inhale, lift. Notice the strength building in the simplicity. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. All the way to standing, palms face forwards. Find your focal point. Shift to the right foot, lift the left foot. Notice just your balancing here. Notice if the shoulders begin to roll forwards, pull the shoulder blades together, open the heart. Okay, begin to kick that foot backwards. Think about pressing through the heel like we did in that Warrior 3 prep. So we're finding length. We're firing that left leg nice and strong. Slight bend in the right knee. Expand in all directions. We'll pull it back through. Slow the journey down. Take that foot down, lift the hands high. Bend the elbows, open the heart. Pull the core in. Relax the glutes. Breathe here. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the elbows together behind you. Activate the backside butt. Breathe into your heart. Feel the strength building in your backside body. It shows up as usually a thought. I'm done with this. Keep breathing. Bend the knees. Send the hands forward, chair pose. Deep breath. Exhale. Hands come through heart center. Find the floor. Lift the hips. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet to the back of the mat. Find your plank position. You can lower the knees or keep them lifted. Shift through your chaturanga. Elbows go straight backwards. Squeeze the rib cage. Move slow. Inhale to your cobra or up dog, whatever you feel you have access to. The elbows can absolutely be bent. Rib cage can be on the floor. Breathe with where you are. Pause in this posture and see what you really want it to look like or feel like. Maybe you came right into your upward dog and it was too much. Maybe you're in your cobra, rib cage down, and you can explore a little more. Let's give it a few breaths. A posture we don't normally give a few breaths to. Slow down. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades together to open the heart? Let's roll everything down to the floor. We're going to come back to our downward dog. So just be mindful of that. Give the hips a shake side to side. Release any low back tension. Inhale, we're going to press up through our upward dog. Just like we did so in the beginning, we're going to start pushing into our hands and pull our belly button to our spine. Notice that lift, that activation. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, upward dog. Same thing. Exhale, pull chin to chest, belly button to spine, lift the hips slightly, activate the core. Inhale, lower, upward dog. Tuck the toes. This one, we're going to take it all the way up. Exhale, chin to chest, Belly button to spine. Activate the core, lift the hips. Down dog. Walk the hands backwards. Towards the feet, slow. Nice and slow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the right knee. Take the right elbow to the right knee. Wave the left hand high for a twist. Notice that left hip. What does it feel like to place more pressure into the left foot? Do you grow up and out of the posture? Does that feel better? Or do you like to sink down low? Let the right fingertips find the floor. Play around with those two feelings, sticking your butt back, letting that right hand find the floor, or pressing down into the left foot, engaging the left glute. Just like we did in the cat-cow, we're just exploring. And let it all go. Find the center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the left knee. Take the right hand high. Play around with some changes in your body, how you're holding your arms, which foot you're placing more pressure into, the rotation of your hips, shaking your head around, letting your neck go. And release it back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, walk into your downward dog. Lift your right leg high, three-legged down dog. Pause here, breathe. Are your shoulders all the way up by your ears? Can you let your head drop? Can you feel into the left leg? Right heel strong, root it towards the back wall. Last inhale, press, expand in all directions. Exhale, right meets left, down dog. Inhale, left foot lifts. Press, hands, grow all the way through your shoulders. Let your ears drop away from them. Expand from your neck all the way through that left heel. Find length. Breathe deep. Take that left foot back down, down dog. Walk slowly towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, chair pose, lift the hands high. Drop the hips down. Imagine that you're squeezing something between your knees, an invisible force. We're going to shift to the left foot. Notice if you can come up onto those right toes. Okay? That left leg is going to be really strong as you begin to straighten it. Lift the right knee. Notice if it's helpful to bring your hands out. Find that focal point you did earlier. And then we're going to begin to shift it just like we did earlier. We're sticking that right heel backwards towards the back wall. Begin to lower the chest. Notice where your hands are in space. Out, really good for balance. If you want to move into your warrior three, bring your hands to your heart. If this feels good, find length from your left foot to left hip, top of your head through your right heel. Reach your hands forwards. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Begin to shift those hands towards the floor. Right crosses behind left. Pinky toes meet. Bend that left knee. Feel that right hip. Uncross, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Coming to our chair pose last time, lift the hands high, drop the hips. Other leg. So we're gonna shift into the right leg. That feels good. My left glute is absolutely burning. Okay, come up onto left toes. Okay, feel the strength in that right leg. So we're buoyant here. We can lift the left toes and start to play around with the balance. That's great. Okay, if you feel ready, start pressing down into the right foot, straighten the right leg, then lift the left knee. Flex foot is better. It's gonna help everything stay activated and feel more stable. You can take the arms out. Find that focal point, and then we'll begin shifting. So keep those arms out for balance, like airplane wings. Begin thinking about pressing through the left heel, backwards, backwards, backwards. Maybe your hands can come to heart center. Starting to feel the right leg fire up. Press down into the right foot a little bit more. Maybe you reach your arms out, warrior three. And we'll slowly begin to melt. Again, don't rush through this. What do you need to do to allow your hands to slowly find the floor? Then let it go by crossing left foot behind right, pinkies meet. Generously bend the right knee. Uncross. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Okay, we're gonna get into the neck a little bit. So let's roll the shoulders down the back. Let the legs be loose. Take the left arm, wrap it behind your back, and see if you can grab onto the right arm. Okay, left hand grabbing for right arm. And then let's see if we can bend that right elbow. So we've got this nice anchor point here. Left shoulder is dropping away from our ear. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Feel that opening. Breathe with it. A few breaths in stillness just to notice. Drop any unnecessary holdings. And then invite a rock forwards and backwards. Push that right hand forwards in space. Deep breath. Let's let it go. Release, roll the shoulders up and down your back. Take the same on the other side. Right hand behind your back. Grab onto the left arm. Left elbow bends. Reach that hand forwards. Push the fingertips forwards. So make any adjustments. Press forwards. Drop the ears away, the shoulders away from the ears. Don't drop your ears. Take your left ear down to your left shoulder. Notice, breathe. What can you notice when you pause? What's gripping? Any thoughts, feelings that want to express? And what I mean by that is notice where in the body you naturally start to move when you pay attention. Maybe you invite those rocks forwards and backwards. Give it 3 more breaths. Just releasing the tension in the neck and shoulders. And release out of that. Roll the shoulders down the back. Take the arms high. Palms facing each other. Inhale to the rib cage. Exhale all the way down to your heels. Inhale up through your fingertips. Hips come forwards. Notice the tendency to dump in the back. See if you can go up and out. Glutes gently squeeze. Exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, step the feet to the back of the mat, plank position. And pause. Last little bit of core here. Shoulders are over wrists, fingertips are forwards, fingertips are spread. Lift our hips a little bit higher. Breathe into the strength of our core. Two more breaths, you can. And let's lower those knees down to the floor. Take the left toes behind you, straighten the left leg. Place some pressure into the right hand. Be mindful that that right foot may want to hinge off the mat a little bit. That can be helpful. And then begin to lift the left hand towards the ceiling. Feel that opening, that breathing through the hip. We did lots of closing, so let it open. Maybe you take the left arm up overhead. Maybe you bend that left knee a little bit. See how it feels to open that hip back up. Be buoyant, be easy instead of rigid, so allow some movements to come in. And then we'll close everything back to center, find your tabletop slowly. We'll shift to the other side. So take the right leg behind you, straighten the right leg. Maybe you hinge the left foot off the mat if that feels good. If on the other side you felt like you didn't have enough space to open your hip, take your left hand to a block, lift yourself up a little bit, and then begin to open that right hip up. You can take that foot behind you a little bit more, keep it in front of you. Take the right arm up overhead. And then allow some movements to come in. Bend the elbows, maybe bend the right knee. Just as we did at the beginning of class, the shapes are not stagnant. The structure of them is helpful, but we can move within or maybe outside the bounds of the structure as long as we move so slowly and just explore beyond the posture itself. Take the hand back to center. Remove the blocks. Cross at the ankles and come to a seat. Take your feet out in front of you. We have been here before. Seeing if there's any shifts that have happened. So take your hands underneath your calves. Inhale, find some length through the top of the head. Exhale, fold in. And notice, has there been any shifts in your experience of this posture at the beginning? Let your head hang heavy. Breathe into the backside body. All right, begin to roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. I'm gonna do fire log pose. So left leg goes first, bends first, and you're wanting to make a line in front of you, like your foot goes from one side of the mat, your knee goes to the other side of the mat, as straight as possible. Then that right leg can fold right in front of it or maybe on top. You can use a block under that right knee if that feels helpful. Feet are flexed. So notice where you are in this fire log position. Okay. Feather your nest. And then begin to walk the hands forwards. So I find fire log to be more intense, but the same intensity as half pigeon. Our pigeon pose is normally done unless we've got lots of flexibility and openness and mobility. The right knee is often bent at a 45-degree, toe is pointed, and we get this feeling in our glutes where as this fire log position can really start to get into a little deeper into our hips, maybe our low back. Notice if there's anywhere in the body you can expand. So reach things away from each other. Right foot and left foot. Press them away from each other. Press the knees down into the mat. Imagine the mat coming up to meet you. Grow tall through the top of your head all the way to your tailbone. Exhale, release all of it, melt a little bit deeper. Okay, begin to walk yourself up. Keep the legs in the same position. Left hand finds the right knee. Right hand comes behind you for a twist. Come back to center. Be mindful which leg is in front or on top. Take the hands behind you. Feet come down, reverse table. Another check-in. Notice how this feels versus when you arrived. Take the hips down. Cross the other one on top or in front. Use your blocks. Settle. Take your hands forwards. Notice where your edge is with this. And remember, we're not looking for burning, radiating, sharp pain. We just want something that feels like it's opening. We're creating some more space. The sensation may be loud. Discern if it needs an adjustment and support, or if you can breathe some softness, some melting into it. Take it a little bit deeper if you have the space. Begin to walk the hands backwards. Right hand finds the left knee, left hand behind you, twist. Come back through center, grab your block, undo your legs and roll yourself down. We'll take a supported bridge. So you're just lifting your hips and placing the block underneath you. Again, it may take a few tries to find the right spot. Allow the head to be heavy, the upper body to be heavy. Let the effort of this posture go. Bridge often comes with all of this effort. And if that inspiration to take action is within you, by all means, take your hands back, take your wheel. If you're ready for rest, ready for ease, begin to walk the feet forwards. Trust the block. Allow the hips to open to whatever degree feels good. When you start entering that territory of painful or uncomfortable, back off. Walk your feet back in. We're not here to torture ourselves. We're here to create more space, to honor the language of the body by showing up, to breathe, to be present with so that change can occur. Change is always occurring, but when we can stay present with it, it feels less overwhelming. Or maybe when we rush, we're not really tuned in. We say things like, where did the day go? This year flew by. We slow down and get present with the change, with the discomfort. It's what we need. Our moments deepen. Our life gets more potent. Deep inhale. Let something go. Begin to walk the feet back in towards the body. Pause here and ask yourself, when I come out of this supported bridge, what is it that I need? Am I ready for rest? Shavasana. I want a happy baby, a windshield wiper, a feet up the wall. Take a moment to think about what it is that you need. Press into the feet, lift the hips, remove the block. Show up for what it was that your body was asking for. One posture, one thing. It's a windshield wiper. We can count left and right as one thing. Whatever you need. And then after you've taken a couple breaths, maybe 2 or 3 more, begin to move your way into your final resting position. Feather your nest. And that simply means to make those small adjustments that you're craving when we don't meet ourselves with those small requests. The requests grow, and we do ourselves a disservice by fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And then movement happens anyways. So adjust yourself, make yourself comfortable. Settle into the stillness. Let your breath flow naturally. Feel the space you've created in your body. And not just in your body, but in your awareness, in your mind. In a world that moves fast, choosing to slow down is a brave act of self-love. Trust that there is wisdom, there are gifts, there is information in our slowness. We renew in slowness, we recharge, we reinvigorate ourselves in slowness. Let your understanding of class today be about that. It's not about how much you do, but how present you are in the doing of things. It's not how much you can fit into your day, into your practice, into your life, but how present you can be with the things that you do, the experiences that you have, and the moments that you live. Let your breath anchor you here in stillness. Inhale deeply. Patience, presence. Exhale slowly. Settle. Relax. Just be. Trust I will call you out of it when it is time. And to come back into the space with your breath, micro movements, letting those build, rolling our ankles or toes, shaking our head, bending our knees. Whatever movements feel good to wake yourself up. Rolling to the right or the left side, cradling your head and your arm. This fetal position is not only a symbol of rebirth before we step off into our mat, it's also a symbol of self-love, of gifting yourself a moment wrapped in the arms of your awareness, your care, your belief, your hope, your gratitude. Press yourself up to a seat at the front of the mat. Allow your hands to find your heart, one over the other, or in a symbol of prayer. We find gratitude for our body, for our breath, for this practice, our community, our families. Find gratitude here. Make sure to thank yourself for showing up to tend to your body, mind, and spirit. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day. Just some house cleaning here. The 17th of this month is a Monday. Michael Camp, a teacher of ours, I'm going to have him come and do some photos of class. If you would like to have a model moment, please come on Monday. That class is, if you are not comfortable being in photos, you can absolutely come. We'll have little cards that are like, don't put me in a photo. I'm just here to practice. So, either is fine. We do have some upcoming pop-ups and events. Those are on the board outside, socials, emails. So just so you guys know, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.